The second lens we're going to look at out of this pretty decent box set is the TTArtisan, of course, 35mm f1.4, which, as we try to do, we're using right now. It is a little bit tight, but you know, we'll see how we get on. Of course, this is going to be a slightly different experience than it was with the Fujifilm X mount that we really enjoyed, you know, due to the crop factor. So a nice little short-ish telephoto could be fun. Let's check it out. You know the routine. We just want to see how it is up close. Again, with the focusing, what has happened? Normally it's pretty decent. Anyway, we can see what we need to see. Here it is, this little titanium beauty right there. Nothing like that feel. Oh, it's dinky, isn't it? There's your clicked 1:4 to 16. That's a pretty smooth, loose focusing. So from 28 centimeters to infinity, and yeah, infinity's on the dot there. Again, probably should have adjusted the lighting for this one. I'm well used to these screw caps now. They offer maximum protection, even though they're quite slow to get on and off. That is absolutely fine. It's a dinky thing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Look at that. 39mm filter thread then. Obviously no hood, no weather resistance per se, but I don't think that's a big deal. 180 grams. Angle of view 45 degrees on micro 4/3. That's giving us a 70mm equivalent. That is pretty cool for such a dinky little thing. There's your diagram on the side. 7 elements, 6 groups, 10 diaphragm blades. Very interesting little beauty that. I don't know if I was this excited when I tried it on Fujifilm. Anyway, yeah, let's see how we get on. I know we still have to look at the 50mm, but so far, this is possibly my favourite. For what it's worth, it is the smallest and the lightest of the trio, making it a dinky but solid feeling lens. Now, of course, that means if you've got big mitts, the aperture and focus rings might be a bit too small for you. And to be fair, the aperture ring is a slight thing, but it clicks away nicely and makes for an easy experience in the real world. Manual focusing is pretty straightforward, give or take the size of the ring as we said, but it is smooth, it's not heavy, it's easy to work with, especially with focus peaking, though it's never going to be the most accurate affair, but for run and gun shooting, it does the job. Now, focus breathing is barely a problem actually, but due to the design of the focus ring, it's not an ideal lens for using focus gears at all. It's not really something that I'd want to do with it, but the breathing and the IQ itself, yeah, it could lend itself well to focus pull worthy scenes, even if the design doesn't. I know what I mean, maybe you do too. Now, before we get into talking about the all-important image quality, here's a quick aperture test where everything is constant except for the aperture as we stop down the lens with each frame. I'm loving that I can achieve sharp images wide open with very little to worry about. That's not to say it's perfect or outstanding, but basically I enjoy the images you can get with this lens with very little effort. Naturally, life gets more solid across the frame as you stop down, but I found I could play at or near the widest apertures and not feel let down by the detail that you can photograph and the contrast that it offers. Colors render pretty well too. It's quite similar to the human eye, and overall on that simple, fun level, a pleasing neutral image can be achieved, especially shooting out and about in relatively decent light, which has been very hard to come by, especially as I've been trying to get test sessions in at the moment with various lenses that I'm looking at. Anyway, here's some images from out and about in Birmingham. Let's talk about bokeh a little bit, because naturally with a full frame equivalent of 70mm, an aperture of f1.4 and a minimum focus distance of 28cm, you can get some really nice separation, really experiment, play around with the depth of field. Overall, the results are pleasing. Now, it's tricky to comment on bokeh at the cheap end of the market. It's either distracting and ugly or not. It's very rarely magical. As always, the images in this video are unedited and should give you a fair idea, albeit in less exciting light than we might like. But you let me know what you think about the bokeh, especially if you have this lens yourself. As for chromatic aberration, it's not the worst in the trio at all. And to be fair, the lens handles it well. Same goes for things like ghosting, flaring and distortion. Let's just put it under one banner and say it's pretty good all round. Again, if you own this lens, we want to hear your opinion too. Right. Final set of images and then we'll sum it up. The black version costs £8 to £9 at the time of recording, and the box set, you can see the box back there, comes in at a whole £242 when it's in stock. As we said before, it's limited edition, so if you get your hands on it, then it's a brilliant deal. Now at £89 or less, if you really shop around, the lens represents excellent value, I think. It's a solid little lens, produces pleasing images and has a lot of potential, especially in a small run-around everyday kit bag. But as always, let us know in the comments below how you got on with this lens, and we'll see you very soon with the final in the trio, which is over there, the 50mm f1.2, and then there's going to be a lot more goodies too. As we said, we're working on some stuff. Anyway, see you there.